Welcome to our next webinar of our new series of Hospitality Insights. My name is Nijat. I'm going to conduct for you the webinar today. Unfortunately, my colleague Jehun couldn't join today's webinar, had some emergency in the last second. So I will be your host today. And today we're going to talk about working under the pressure. Um, Majority of you may know what the pressure is. So today we're going to talk about more about um, skill-wise, how to handle it, how to um, develop yourself in the future. I'm going to share my screen as well, so you could able to see. I hope everybody sees my screen. Okay, so let's start. A few housekeeping notes. This webinar is going to be recorded and the duration will be hopefully within 1 hour and 1 hour and a half. If any technical issues, please use the chat panel. You may use it in the Zoom itself and on the Facebook. We are live in the both platforms. Questions and inquiries, you can ask it in the end of the presentation. Kindly to put all your microphones on mute. If you want to open your video, that's okay. Please do not forget to subscribe to our social media channel on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So today we're going to talk about the working under the pressure. First, we will know what is the working under the pressure means. Then we're going to talk about the how to handle it. More is related to the skills, because working under the pressure is not the knowledge, is a skill, and we'll talk about it in a big discussion. There will be a few advices how to what to do and how to do when you are facing with the pressure, and we will show you a few videos during the session. In the end of the presentation, we're going to have Q&As, which you can use the chat panel. All right, let's go on. So first, we're going to talk about the meaning of the working under the pressure. Meaning of the pressure actually is related to the stress. So some of you may know it as a pressure, some of you may know it as a stress, but the reality is due to the pressure. So the source is the pressure. Due to the pressure, the stress of the urgency of the matters required attention, the burden of the physical or mental distress, and the constraint of the circumstances. I had highlighted for you and underlined a few words in here, which we're going to discuss at the moment. First of all, related to the attention. Imagine you are working, and let's assume that you are a junior staff. We can take as example as a hotel, and in hotel you are a receptionist, and suddenly you do your work. You're doing a check-in of the guest or check-out of the guest. Suddenly your boss is coming telling you that please let's do this one quickly. So he require attention. He also distracting you, and he is also giving you additional pressure which you may not expected it, because you do believe that you're doing the right job, and all of a sudden external, we're going to talk about external factors. External factor are coming and bothering you. This one is giving you a mental distress. Some people depend on the personality. They're taking the physical stress. So they can be defensive or offensive. Maybe you heard about these words. Majority of as we are a human being, we are defensive. We're showing the defensive attitude. So defensiveness is actually it's very normal. It's we are human, so we need to defend ourselves. However, we don't understand that there could be circumstances that could be or will lead you to the stress itself. So you may see that you're making a check-in for the guest at the reception. However, your management is looking for you to help him in order to sort out an issue which could lead to the negative what circumstances. So please make sure that when you do have urgent requirement, attention, you feel stress, please understand that it's more related to the circumstances. Sometimes we may see in the news, in the social media, in TV broadcasting that they are bringing up uh, some issues which actually is not an issue. They're just showing as a circumstances. They want to make you stressful. They want to make you to be worried about, to be under the pressure. Sometimes we know it as a washing your brain. So this is the reality is. In fact, nothing is going on. In fact, nothing is available. They just want to give you stress by many tools. It could be physical, mental. So you could able to talk to think about that. Oh, everything will be bad, or everything will be worse. What I'm going to do in order to keep you in the stress, in the depression. This is one another word we're going to talk about today. Depression. Uh, they are influencing you and creating within your body, within your mind, the stress. Actually, stress doesn't come from outside. We're going to talk about it also. Stress doesn't come from outside. Stress actually coming from us itself. So it's more related to the choking. We're going to talk about the choking today. Stress in reality is not available. We cannot see it, and it's not given by others. Someone can influence us to be stressful, but it's more related on us how to control the stress itself. So please remember that we are more um, need to control ourselves and need to make sure that our body, our mind, physically and mentally is clear and calm as much as possible. Uh, so how to handle it? You can ask the question that, okay, we have a stress, we have a depression, we have a pressure. Uh, how to handle it? There are many ways of handling it. Today we're going to talk about a few of them. The first, most important that I advise to everyone, that you can advise to everyone, is remain calm always. Always remain calm. And no matter what is going to happen, no matter how bad you may see it, no matter how difficult it is, how it is um, dangerous for you, please remain calm always. If you need any help, if you think that you cannot handle it, you can always ask for the help. You can always ask for the guideline or the supervision. But always remember to keep yourself calm, because when you're stressed out, you cannot think, you cannot work, it can distract you, and even physically and mentally could hurt you as well. I could give some example from my experience. There was a period of the time when I had a lot of pressure while I was working at in hotel. So pressures was increasing. First it was two, then it was five, then it was increasing more and more. Then family, then thinking about more about the future, what is going to happen. So all of this made me stressful. And from the stress, physically, I had lost my hairs here. So some of you may know the hairs are falling. One of the medical advisors had told me that it's more related to the stress. You took something deeply stressful. Of course, I had handled it later on. Now hairs is growing. But what I understood in that time that we always need to think about the present. We're going to talk about it. We never should think about the future, what the circumstances could be in the future. We don't know about anything about the future. We can predict, but due to the future, do not stress yourself ever. Remain calm. Second is to be stayed focused. In order to accomplish something, you always need to be focused, because this one is helping you not to be stressful. It's making you to clear your mind. In another word, staying focused means that you know what you're going to do, you know what you're going to say, you already had handled it a couple of times, and this is not your first time, so you may know how to uh, sort it out. But please stay focused, because if you will not be focused, means if something else is going to distract you, your family could distract you, your colleagues will distract you, your friends, your family, your, I don't know, the social media, which will give you a notification every 2 seconds. So try to be more focused. This will help you to not to be stressful, and will help you to handle the stress, handle the pressure effectively. The third is more about to help others to get through the taxing day. When we mean about the taxing day, it's if you notice your coworkers are struggling with their task, help them to finish and become the leader you know you are. For example, you know that your colleague, your friend, have some stressful moment because of the pressure, because of the more tasks have been given, more projects have been given. You can help her or him in order to remove his stress or her stress. By this way, you're going to improve your leadership skills, and you will show the care. This will also give you personal development by learning from your coworkers. The fourth is the sidestep and drama and to stay positive. Uh, we had seen many times about the dramas. So you see a scene that where your boss is making a meeting, um, for five of you in the team, and he's making just a drama. There is nothing in the fact, in reality. There is nothing to be concerned, but there is no argument also to be concerned. So there is a drama. Why he potentially doing that? He wants to give you a pressure. He wants to give you a stress that he also may got the stress from someone else. So try to be always calm, as we had said. Don't change your mind. Remain as it is. Stay positive. If you feel that his speech is affecting you, try to release it somewhere or somehow. We're going to talk about it. It's more related to the habits. You need to create your own habits where you can able to handle your own stress or handle your own pressure. There are the many ways, actually. I can give you a few of them, which I know and which I'm practicing it myself. So when I feel stressful, for example, I'm washing my face, I'm trying to sit down if I'm standing a lot, drinking the water a lot. Um if you're at home, for example, you came back from the duty, stressful, you're full of negativity, try to not to show it to your family, try to um, skip them, try to um, at least take a nap, take a sleep for 1 hour at least, or to take a shower, cold shower more effectively, not the hot shower. Cold showers more effectively. This will help you to stay positive and run away from the dramas, how to handle it. These are the few habits that I had told you. Obviously, there are the other ways. I'm pretty sure there are the breathing techniques. Some people do the meditation, yoga, etc., or spiritual elements related to the religion. This one also you could use it, but I had told you the things which related to me and it's effective for me. You could use it, and I'm sure that you do have your own way of remaining positive. Some people are listening music just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in order not to think about the drama and clear your mind and be positive. The fifth one we're going to talk about is get help if you need. This is the one of the issues actually nowadays I see in the young generations. I understand one side that young generation are very passionate. They want to help. They know that how to handle it. They have a perfect knowledge and few skills. However, uh, asking help is not a shame. Asking help is not um, downgrading you. It's actually helping and supporting you. If you will get help from someone else, because we had talked about in the point number three, help someone. Here, if you will receive a help from someone, you will get a relief from your shoulders, um, a pain, or sometimes, medically speaking, this pain could be in your neck area or in your head area, where you are having a lot of headaches. Try to always get a help if you need, and don't forget to ask a help. Majority of us may not handle particular task or particular project day-to-day operation. And if you need a help, just raise your voice. Ask that I need a help. Even it's your boss will come and will help you. Uh, Try to make sure that you will practice it a lot, not to avoid it, not to run away from your responsibility. In fact, to help you to be effective. Leaders will understand that you want to be an effective, and they will help you by any means. So try to always uh, get a help from someone else in order clear your pressure. This is very important. If you're not going to clear your pressure, and in a way you will show that you're a terminator, you can able to do everything, so they will load you. They will give you two tasks, five tasks, 10 tasks, and then you will collapse. So get a help if you needed it. I hope by far everything is clear and understandable. Please, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the chat box, which in the end we're going to talk about. Other advices are clear too much caffeine. This is the one of the trends, I would say, at the moment, that coffee is a good stimulant. Like I said, everyone have some habits. So if you see today, before you go to the duty, to the work, you're having a couple of coffee, any type of the coffee, it could be anything. This one actually removing your stress, uh, or at some people it's causing the stress. So be careful on related to the some few food items or beverage items that you may think that this is trend, it's good for you, but in fact it's not. I had seen a lot of people that coffee actually is not helping them. I had seen a lot of people that the chocolate actually is making their mind positively. So they are being as much positive as it's possible. So try to find out if you are getting better or not from the coffee or tea or any chocolate that stimulating you, that giving you a positive um, mindset. Seventh, which we also spoke about, is take your break. The break is very important. As much as possible, take a break if you feel the pressure, because uh, your brain during the day is overloading. And statistically speaking, I forgot where I read it, but it was a medical statistic that during the first half of the day, means if you're starting your duty 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning, until lunch, means until 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., your brain function is working 100%. So it means you're being very effective. You're being very effective in terms of handling the stress, handling the pressure. You could do many tasks at the same time, which is normal. But after lunch, and this is one of the issues nowadays, that we're having a heavy lunch. In fact, lunch have to be a soft, like a soup and salad or just a salad, not heavy as much as possible. Um, After the break, your function of your brain is reducing capacity to the 50%. Some people, some nation, for example, in Japan, they are taking power nap. Maybe you heard about it, power nap. Power nap is the 20 minutes to 30 minutes sleep on your chair, on your desk, or if you're in the office wise, in the sofa, just to calm yourself. You're not actually sleeping because it's not a deep sleep. You are actually calming down yourself. In Japan, it's very well had been practiced, and even some companies are providing nap to take a nap area in order to influence their staff to work much effective after the break. So by this way, normally if staff or employee should leave at 5 or 6 p.m., they're actually staying more by 7 or 8 p.m. This was a good practices that we had seen and known from Japan, and this had been practicing very well about the breaks. Utilize your vacation time wisely. This is overwhelming, and sometimes we are hearing burnout syndrome. Burnout syndrome, you can check it later on in the internet. It's basically overwhelming yourself physically, mentally, by any means. And at the work, they're telling you, there's so many work, you cannot go to the vacation, which is wrong. You have to know your right that you can take your vacation after 6 months of your employment contract, and you can utilize your vacations. If it's the 30 days, so 15 days, you can take it first, and then after 6 months, you can take another 15 days. This will help you to get more energized. This will help you to be more positive and reduce the stress. Try to use your vacation wisely. The ninth point is more about the big projects. Big projects is not actually going to the stress. Big project actually will help you to be more responsibility. You will know how to able to handle this type of big projects. What need to be done? Where we should attack? Is there any way I can show my strengthness? It's basically showing that you're going out from your comfort zone. You don't want to be in the comfort zone. You want to show your responsibility, show your skills. So try to join into the big projects where there is a group of people, obviously not alone. This will help you actually develop your how to handle the stress. And the last one, if you are feeling stressed, try to avoid to show it to someone else, especially in the family. This is what we see nowadays in the particular families, that you are coming with the pressure, with some negativity from the work. Do not enter it in your house, or if you are doing so, try to avoid your family. Like I said, try to take a 1 hour sleep, or take a cold shower in order to calm down yourself, because this will create more issues in your life and will lead to negative consequences. I hope by far everything is okay. Um, Let me know if everything is okay. So I want to show you a video uh, where you know about the TEDx. It's more educational, uh, which I want to share it with you at the moment. I hope everybody see my screen.
closes in for a victorious win. The crowd holds its breath, and at the crucial moment, she misses the shot. That competitor just experienced the phenomenon known as choking, where despite months, even years of practice, a person fails right when it matters most. Choking is common in sports, where performance often occurs under intense pressure and depends on key moments. And yet, performance anxiety also haunts public speakers, contestants in spelling bees, and even world famous musicians. Most people intuitively blame it on their nerves. But why does being nervous undermine expert performance? There are two sets of theories, which both say that primarily choking under pressure boils down to focus. First, there are the distraction theories. These suggest that performance suffers when the mind is preoccupied with worries, doubts, or fears, instead of focusing its attention on performing the task at hand. When relevant and irrelevant thoughts compete for the same attention, something has to give. The brain can only process so much information at once. Tasks that challenge working memory, the mental scratch pad we use to temporarily store phone numbers and grocery lists, are especially vulnerable to pressure. In a 2004 study, a group of university students were asked to perform math problems, some easy, others more complex and memory intensive. Half the students completed both problem types with nothing at stake, while the others completed them when calm and under pressure. While everyone did well on the easy problems, those who were stressed performed worse on the more difficult memory intensive tasks. Explicit monitoring theories make up the second group of explanations for choking under pressure. They're concerned with how pressure can cause people to overanalyze the task at hand. Here, the logic goes that once a skill becomes automatic, thinking about its precise mechanics interferes with your ability to do it. Tasks we do unconsciously seem to be most vulnerable to this kind of choking. A study on competitive golfers compared their performance when instructed to simply focus on putting as accurately as possible versus when they were primed to be acutely aware of the mechanics of their putting stroke. Golfers usually perform this action subconsciously, so those who suddenly tuned in to the precise details of their own moves also became worse at making accurate shots. Choking may not be inevitable for everyone, though. Research suggests that some are more susceptible than others, especially those who are self conscious, anxious, and afraid of being judged negatively by others. So, how can we avoid choking when it really counts? First, it helps to practice under stressful conditions. In a study on expert dart players, researchers found that those who hadn't practiced under stress performed worse when anxious, compared to those who had become accustomed to pressure. Secondly, many performers extol the virtues of a pre performance routine, whether it's taking a few deep breaths, repeating a cue word, or doing a rhythmic sequence of movements. Studies on golfing, bowling, and water polo find that short rituals can lead to more consistent and accurate performance under pressure. And thirdly, researchers have shown that having an external focus on the ultimate goal works better than an internal focus, where someone is tuned into the mechanics of what they're doing. A study of experienced golfers revealed that those who hit chip shots while focused on the flight of the ball performed significantly better than those who focused on the motion of their arms. So perhaps we can modify that age old saying practice under pressure with focus and with that glorious end goal in sight makes perfect. For a nail biting example of persevering under pressure, we highly recommend The Boys in the Boat. It tells the gripping true story of nine American rowers and their quest for gold at the 1936 Olympics.
Okay. I hope it was useful video for you all. This is the one of the example. You can find it in the YouTube also. How to handle the pressure itself, the stress itself, and there was a keywords that I've been using: stay calm, stay focused, always practice to be in the pressure, so it will help you for your own development skills. Actually, working under the pressure is a skill. Like I said before, this will help you to work in the big projects, big organizations by developing your own skill set. These skills are oftenly, you can also check it later on in the internet also, some HR directors, they're in the process of the interview, they're asking you about the how you are handling the pressure. Obviously, there are the many ways how to answer it. There's a models how to answer it. For sure, you can answer. But if you want to be very sincere, uh, it's actually coming from your own development skills. So try to make sure that you will develop this in your career. So we will go into the third model. We'll talk about advices. There will be a few advices. Again, whichever could be useful for you, whichever could be practical for you, you may choose it. So few advices. First, start to predicting and planning for crunch times. Like you need to know since today when you woke up, you will know that what you're going to plan. It's your prediction. It's your small target in your life. Think about what you're going to do today. For example, you woke up, you will go to wash your face for sure, brush your teeth, then you will have a breakfast. After breakfast, you will go to do to the work. After the work, you will calm down. Um, Later on, you will see your friends, you will read the book or many activities. Try to have a daily targets, a daily planning so you can avoid any issues. And if you have a plan today, let's say, and you had a plan evening time to go with your friends, and suddenly your mom is calling you and telling you you have to come back home. Today we have a guest, you have to be there attending. Don't get stressed out. It's okay to receive this type of external pressures. There are the pressures that we can handle as internally, and there are the pressures that we cannot handle it. It's external pressures. And of course, we are human. We understand every single thing that is happening day to day life. Don't worry that you can not see your friends, or try to convince your mom, let's say, that you'll be late within 1 hour. But don't stress out yourself. Try to find out a negotiation where you can handle it both. Second, prioritize. Prioritizing is very important in our life. This is actually goes as a strategy. So this year, for example, 2020, obviously it was an easy year for everyone. uh, those who are working, have a family. However, we had in the beginning of the year, I had in the beginning of the year some priorities that I wanted to do. And these priorities, I could not do it due to the COVID that had happened. But I didn't get stressful, which I had changed my priorities. I had focused on other priorities. And it was actually very well perceived my own personal development. So try to have a priorities in your life. It could be yearly, monthly, quarterly, depend on you how you can able handle it. And don't be stressed out again if you will face something externally, circumstances where it could stress you out. So try to remain calm. Third is the very important is about the majority of us thinking about the future. What's going to happen in the future? What's going to happen in the airlines industry, hotel industry? How are we going to live with the COVID situation? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? We don't know. Try to not to think a lot about the future. I'm not saying don't ever think about future. Don't stress yourself that in the future it will be catastrophe. Things will go wrong. Things will be bad. I remember when airlines started to shut down and park their planes basically. Government was closing their borders. Uh, some few articles I had read that this is the end of the world. The This is the signs of the end of the world. Uh, we're going to die. I don't know. By this way, we cannot leave. They are treating us as a dog. Uh, Nothing had happened. I mean, today, 6 months later, what we see today is that A lot of things had been made it for us to actually support us, help us, to guide us. Some people may not like it. You can say that it's against the human right. It's not a democracy. But don't try to think about more about the future, what's going to happen. It's more actually what you need to do today. So focus on the present. So try to focus what you can do today, because you can control today. You cannot control tomorrow. You cannot control a month or a year later. This is very important. So you cannot stress out yourself. Break your task down. This is also good advice. If you have, let's say, one big project and one small project, obviously, small project, you could do it quickly and easily. The big project, try to break it within at least 10 mini tasks. So you can able to focus on one by one elements. Because if you're not breaking it and you cannot able to focus it, you can stress out yourself that you didn't completed it successfully. Fifth is ask about yourself. Do you need it right now? Because we're having so many issues nowadays where we need to handle a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. And on top of it, you're receiving another task, another pressure. Ask yourself, do you really need it at the moment? Is it important? Is it urgent actually? If it's not important, not urgent, don't take it. Don't go into it. If you have other things, other priorities to do, change how you think about the pressure. So this is, in a way, meditation. You could do it spiritually. You could do it yoga-wise or listening to music. Everyone have their own way of handling the pressure. So try to think about or write it down how you can handle the pressure. If you face it in the work, what you could do in the at home when you're getting angry, stressed, what you could do in order to handle it. This will help you. This will help you to understand what will be beneficial personally for you. Time management model. This is one of the effective model. Like I said, there are the many like this models. Eisenhower model, star model are available. This one I love it about the quantum. Maybe you had heard about in our previous webinar about the time management. If you missed it, you can go to our Facebook page and you could see the video again, watch the video again, where we were talking about the quantums there. Is it urgent? Is it important? Is it necessary? Or it just you can leave it? Try to always specify the your time and giving the tasks, because when someone is giving you a task, they're keeping you under the pressure that in one day you need to finish, or in 1 hour you need to finish. Try to think about, is it urgent or it's not urgent? Is it important or it's not important? Or I can make it 1 hour later, 1 day later, or 1 week later. If you are specifying it in that moment when they are giving you a task, you can able to reply by saying that, can I do it after 2 days? Is it okay if it's not urgent? Or if it's not important, I can come back to you within 1 week. We could do it together. So try to always manage your time proportionally. So you will be focused, you will be calm, you will able to know what's your priorities, and then after all of these, you could able to handle the new task. The eighth one is the review the past pressure point and identify the pattern. This one is good for you as a lesson. If you had faced some pressures in your life before, try to think about how did it come to the pressure? How did I manage it, or I mismanaged it? So maybe I could do this tactic. It could able to give me another result. Try to think about this. This will help you to identify the pattern on what to do in certain time and certain way. Nine is the use the pressure as an opportunity. Like I said, pressure is the handling the pressure is a skill, and it's a very big skill. Especially you need to develop within yourself. If you don't, means you can face any issues and you may not know how to handle it. This could relate it to your knowledge, your skills, your mentally or physically. It could hurt you. So try to make sure that you will not avoid the pressure. Try to actually learn about more pressure, how to handle it, do something related to it. This will help you to grow. 10th is separate the internal pressure from external pressure. Like I gave an example before, you can control your day, which is your uh, internal pressures that you can know that today I need to do A, B, C, D, E in order to be successful. Excellent. But when you will do it, you can face also external pressures also. Think about that external, anything that comes externally, anything that comes from outside, you cannot control it. So don't stress out yourself. Try to actually manage it. Try to actually handle it effectively. Like I said before, there is a model quantum. Is it urgent? Is it necessary, important to do now? Can I do it later? Can I prioritize something else? Or can I able to handle it? Try to always find the right tactic to handle it. You cannot, I'm repeating it again, you cannot control anything external pressure that is coming. You just, you can know how to manage it in order it will not stress you out. So this is very important. 11 is the adopt the mindfulness practices. Like I said, some people are doing meditation, yoga in the morning. Some are spiritually, they are praying. Um, Sport is one of the good activity. In fact, it's very good activity, especially after the work. Uh, just to jogging or walking around your community within 30 minutes minimum will make you relieve your stress, will make you to sleep better, and will make you to wake up in the good mindset, good mood. So try to do some of these practices also. And the last one, not least, create your own way how to handle the pressure. This is individually. Take a paper and pen, write down in the work how I can handle it if I will face it A, B, C, D, E. At home, how I can handle it. Maybe dedicated person is giving you more stress in your life, how to handle with that person. So create your own way. And if you will be stressful, how to move out or come out from the stress. Also, make an action plan for yourself. This will help you to just to grow yourself, develop yourself. It will develop your skills also. I do hope these advices were useful for you, and you can practice it at any time. I want to show you one of the videos which related to the pressure. And obviously, who can have the most biggest pressure in the world? That's the presidents. Presidents have a big pressure, and you may not know it how they're handling it. So I found one video where ex-US President Barack Obama was giving some advices. I want you to listen it also. Hopefully, it will be useful for you as well.
In your seventh year in office, what have you learned about pacing yourself and managing the stress of the job?
No, the truth is that um, I'm lucky to, by inclination and temperament, be fairly steady.
Your Hawaiian roots,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. I think that's probably what it is. Good weather,
Just like
beaches.
today.
So I don't get too high, don't get too low. Uh, I've been very consistent about exercising in the morning. That helps. Um, but I think the most important, I'm very consistent about spending time with family. And when you have dinner with your daughters, particularly teenage daughters, they'll keep you in your place, and they'll teach you something about perspective. But I think the most important thing is to take the long view on things. We live in such a 24/7 Twitter fed constant news cycle, and everything's a crisis. And
You're not on Twitter.
well, I'm not, but
Yeah.
but everything's a crisis. Everything's terrible. Everything is doomsday. Everything is it doesn't get solved tomorrow. Your presidency is going off the rails. I mean, there must have been what 15, 20 things that over the last 7 years, folks have said, "This is it. It's over." We had the Gulf oil spill, worst environmental disaster in history. Everybody said, "Oh, he's handling this terribly." A year later, nobody was talking about it, and in retrospect, it turns out that we handled that as well as any environmental crisis has been handled. Ebola, remember that? Obviously, it's still a serious problem, and we've got to get down to zero, but uh, that was probably one of the most effective international public health responses in history, and that was led by us. If we hadn't acted, it would still be raging, and everybody else would be at risk. And so those experiences, I think, remind you that uh, my job is to keep my eye on the ball and to stay focused on what can we get done every single day to advance the vision and values that brought me. What can I do to make sure that uh, middle class families are feeling more secure, that more young people are able to access opportunity, that we are safe, that we are working with our international partners to try to create more order at a time when there's a lot of chaos. How do we deal with terrorism in a way that's consistent with our values? It, as long as I stay focused on those North Stars, then I tend not to get too red.
I was wondering how many hours of sleep you're getting a night.
Probably not enough.
That's what I figured you'd say.
I will say that when people leave the administration, and I see them 6 months later, they've got the post-administration glow. They really look good. So I'm hoping the same happens to me.
There's hope for you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Great to see you.
Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I hope it was a good advice from Barack Obama, and you had heard some key words about the focusing, staying calm, doing the right thing, doing the right strategy. He talked about the objectives, mission, which is leading your strategy, and how to handle the pressure, remain the calm, do some sports, be nice with your family in order to be in the mindful mindset, in a positive mindset. So that's it for today. I do hope that this was beneficial for you and it will increase your knowledge. Again, please don't forget that handling the pressure is not the knowledge, is the skill that you need to practice it in your life. I will be glad to receive any of your questions if you do have it. Meanwhile, when you're putting your questions, you can find out on us on the social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and in YouTube. If you have any questions particularly, you can send to this email below, hospitality.insights@outlook.com. If you have any questions, please, I'm ready to listen. No questions so far? Anything that you would like to know? Please be active, don't worry.
Hi, Nijat, can you hear me?
Hello, Emil, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, good, thank you.
Perfect. Awesome session, by the way. Handling pressure and stress doing work is really important. Um, I myself have worked only for 6 months. During my internship, I realized how important managing pressure is. So yeah, great session, by the way. Just one question.
Sure.
You spoke about how your hair and all of that. So could you just enlighten a bit more about how stress affects you biologically or like in the health perspective?
Thank you for the question. Actually, it's a very good question. We, as a human, we do believe that we can handle the handle the pressure. We can handle the
Hmm.
stress because we are the strong enough, knowledgeable enough, skilled enough. However, your body reacting in different way, biologically or mentally, for example, it's reflecting you negatively. I don't want to turn this webinar a little bit medical, but I know also uh, medical wise for the women, especially when they are pregnant, for example, why they are advising don't be stressful, don't panic, don't take it to the inside, or most of the information they're not sharing with the pregnant woman because it will reflect negatively to the child. Now imagine if there is not a child, it's reflecting to your body negatively. It's reflecting to you. In a such way that you could have so many bad diseases. I mean, you name it. Parkinson's disease is one of them. Is well known as a Parkinson's disease. Alzheimer's disease, you're losing your memory. Every single, most of the every single sicknesses in our body comes from the stress, from the nerve, from the angerness, from the not handling it properly. And this is just building on and on and on. And we think that actually we can able to handle it, but in fact, we are not handling it. We're just increasing it more and more. And then it will reach to certain stage, God forbid, I don't advise to anyone. It's reaching and reacting to your heart, for example. That's why you're having the heart shock, for example. It's you're just losing it. Why? Because you cannot able to handle it. Some people they're saying that you have to try to cry. It's the ability to cry actually, to release your stress, to release your angerness. Maybe it's an option, but as a human, we shouldn't increase our tasks, increase our stress in our life. We need to know how to calm ourselves, focus at it, how to able to handle with it. Like I said, external, anything can happen. You just need to handle with it. Try to handle within yourself. Not don't try to handle someone else. Try to handle yourself first. Because mentally to be positive, mentally um, to be prepared to any this type of circumstances is very important.
Awesome. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you
Thank,
for that.
thank you very much, Emil. Thank you for your question. Thank you, everyone, for joining us to our webinar today. I hope it was very beneficial. We will be glad to see you in our next webinar. Until that time, see you soon. Have a take care. Bye.